Hey there, so I'm doing a quick video because there isn't much content for this sort of thing on YouTube, specifically this card cage here. This is either like an H19 Zenith or Heath computer or terminal that's been modified quite a bit here to include an STDBus cage here. A bunch of cards. I can slide these out, but I have to unhook all the ribbon cables. When I got this thing, I got it via a middle person who did the actual buying on Craigslist for me because they were already buying some other stuff from them, and then they asked if I was interested in this and this 8-inch floppy drive. I have the 8-inch floppy drive working more or less with the Grease Weasel flux interface for reading the flux off floppy disks. I haven't been able to test the images, so who knows if that actually works, but you know, it'll move the stepper on the head and all that, so that works. But anyways, this thing here, let's just fire this up here. It'll try and read the floppy, but it doesn't work. It came with 2 floppies in there. One, let's see, where did I put them? I stuck them for safekeeping in this thing. But yeah, so you know, it prompts for it. The screen's really nice. But let's see, this floppy, which says bootable, and this one, oops, that's the same one. This one, new BIOS boot disk. So if this was an H89, this would be a little more straightforward for me to actually boot some software on. It just normally runs CPM. But this is running, I think the company's name is Microlink, and there's like a Z80 CPU card in it, so similar, it'll run CPM, at least, you know, if I'm to believe everything I know about it. You know, it will not read this floppy, but it does have a system monitor. But yeah, as you can see, it says Microlink on there, and they made a bunch of these STDBus cards, just a 56-pin bus. And from what I read, I'm not super familiar with this, but that, you know, pretty common in industrial, you know, computing applications back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. You know, and there are other resources on this online. I talk more about it, but I didn't see much on YouTube. My favorite thing about this, though, and I swapped this out and replaced it, is the 9-volt battery here, which I do not know. There's actually a spot on the CPU card for a 3-volt battery, like a lithium one, like a little coin cell. But when I looked at it, it just had a cap there. So I'm guessing part of the deal here is they just took a 9-volt and stuck it on the power rails, and then you know, just put a capacitor there so that anything that the board was expecting would work right. This thing is really hard to get into. It has the normal Heath Zenith terminal board here. You know, I've had that thing out, I cleaned it off. This thing just smelled nasty when I got it. Just smoke smell. That's probably why the top cover's off, because I had to hose it off and let it dry. The floppy drives will, I should turn this off first. Floppy drives will, you know, they'll just do that. So what I'm planning on doing is maybe swapping the 2 drives, because I haven't figured out the floppy drive settings for A and B. There is a floppy disk controller here, but you know, I don't have any documentation for any of the cards in it, so it's been really rough going to actually boot anything. But so I'd show this off, and I'll pull out the cards, and I'll take a quick, you know, take some quick video of that to show it off. All right, so first things first, I pulled off these ribbon cables. They're hopefully labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, so the nice thing about these cards is they have this lever here, and you can just kind of, just to show it off. It's gonna be kind of hard to see here, but if you want to pull one of these out, you just kind of do one of these. So this thing, so this is a cool card because it's on a proto board, and is completely wire wrapped with like a dead bug chip on it. Super wild. I should be probably more careful than I am with it, but wire wrap's pretty okay, I think. So, and there's a couple of these flat ribbon connectors to these dip sockets. I don't know anything about this. My guess is P1, 2, 3, 4. I forget how many serial ports are on the back, but I'm guessing that's what it corresponds to. And I think these connect to the serial connection on the terminal card, because all of these, even the computer versions of these, have the terminal board in them. So the computer part, much like this one, is connected via serial to the serial board, the terminal board. So they're kind of like a computer and serial terminal in one box sort of thing. So it's kind of it's not like a PS2 keyboard and mouse, not on a bus. It's actually using serial. So that's interesting. So in this case, I think this card, and I'm probably wrong, actually interfaces between the CPU board that's in here and the terminal board. And that one, and there's just one, and that could be serial too, but I just don't know. Or actually probably one of these has got to have video. I don't know, or not video, what am I thinking? Video comes off the terminal board. This is the actual CPU board. And I put this tape here because the original tape had fallen off. That's the EEPROM. And I've actually ripped that and put it on archive.org. And I can provide a link to that. Yeah, that's what I got. It's made by Microlink. There's nothing on the board that says Microlink, but I found one on eBay that listed the model number. And then I realized, oh, shit, losing my phone here. It actually says STD147 on here. So, oh, there it is. There's the Microlink logo right there. So there you go, ML. So yeah, that's that. And that's actually got the Z80 on it. And yeah, I can show you. There's normally supposed to be a battery there. They got a cap. I think that's a cap, and then resistor? Can't tell what that is. I don't know these old package styles. Okay, so the next thing is the floppy disk controller. Should probably pull the ribbon cable out. If I can do it with one hand here without damaging it. Okay. This one I don't think is actually an EEPROM on here, but just in case I put tape on it. It did have a little window, but the window is blacked out, so I'm just being paranoid. So this one has the ML logo again. So this is a Microlink 50-pin floppy interface. And that's about all I know about it. I think I like the handwritten serial number there, but yeah. Oh, hey, I didn't notice this before. Disk 22, select D2, D3, D4. Move wide to D4 for ML. I have no idea what that means, but I didn't notice that before. Neat. Love the bodge wires too. Well, anyway, I'll have to look at that some more later. But yeah, there's all kinds of like little mods and bodges and stuff. It's just, I probably should be nicer to these, but I figure if they lasted this long, they'll be fine. And the last thing is there's just a there's a proto board in here that's got nothing on it, so it's the way it came. It goes back in there. Ah, come on. Ah. There we go. What else? That's pretty much it. There was like some other stuff, like I pulled this out. There was a random loose 50-pin ribbon cable, and it runs to the back here. If I can get a shot here. There's a couple of floppy disk ports. These control ports, I don't know what they do. But yeah, oh yeah, I was right. Yeah, there's four RS-232 ports. And parallel port. and brightness control knob. Yep, so that's that. That's about all I know about it. So my next steps for this are maybe get a working floppy drive, see if I can boot anything from it, but not having any manual for that microlink CPU board. Any of the settings, the memory addresses, it's going to be tough for me to really be able to do much with it. But, well, we'll see what I can scrounge up. All right, till next time. Okay, one last thing I figured out. So this thing, it says reset on the eject handle on this. There's actually a button behind this. It's a little bit of dual functionality. There's a little tiny micro switch back there. So if you push on it, it resets the computer. Which means I think this spent a lot of its time running with the top off. So anyway, thought I'd show that off. And yeah, I did figure out this card on top here is definitely like a UART multiplexer. There was a couple of the chips on it are these Zilog chips. Did I say Zilog? Zilog? Yeah, there we go. Zilog. UART chips. And there's a whole mess of digital logic on it. And the dip switches make me think, along with the 4 ribbon cables that go to the ports in the back, that yeah, that's what that does.